if you're a journeyman, which you are, if you're playing in the XFL, I think you would, do whatever it took to get one more chance at the NFL. Right. So I think maybe your new team would be somewhat understanding in terms of workload. But let's be honest, if you sign out of the XFL to the NFL, you're immediately the 90th guy on the roster. You better do whatever you can to make an impression, or you're not going to be there very long.
We'll talk some NFL later on. Some wild scenarios out there. We'll have some fun with those. We'll talk more Jaguars coming up on the program. Some of Tony's thoughts from the morning as well. But we come back to start it with college basketball. The whole Mike White Gator thing, the Gators lose. They weren't very inspired, a very poor performance. Tonight, FSU and Duke, one of the games of the year in college basketball. All that coming up. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Coach Don Shula.
This is Lomas Brown, former Florida Gator. This is Kellen Winslow.
And your home for the best Jags coverage is
1010XL.
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 92.5 FM.
Hey folks, Baloo here for Key Buick GMC. Drive like a pro right now in the brand new GMC Sierra 1500 and save up to $15,000 on all new 2019 trucks. Also, $10,000 off select new terrains in stock. As always, we are professional grade and it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. It's Key Buick GMC on the corner of Southside and Gate, or go to keybuickgmc.com. See dealer for details.
I'm Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer. That means the Florida bars recognize me as an expert in the field of civil trial. As a trial lawyer, I'm trained to investigate every aspect of your case. If you've been involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
Flame Broiler's $5 happy hour will keep your wallet and waistline healthy. From 2 to 5 p.m. weekdays and all day Saturday and Sunday, enjoy your choice of all-natural chicken, Angus beef, or organic tofu with veggies served on steamed rice. Try one of our 4 Jacksonville locations today. Simply healthy. Flame Broiler.
They walked in with this giant hose thing and this weird-looking mask.
I could not tolerate the mask. Clear and simple.
CPAP works for some people, but not everyone. That's why there's Inspire. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. If you're struggling with CPAP, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Testimonials are genuine and typical. Results may vary. Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
This is Hacker. Join me for the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gator Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience our gold standard as the world's best golfers take on the Island Green. Bring the whole family to stock up on one-of-a-kind gear in the PGA Tour Fan Shop and enjoy bites from top local restaurants. Plus, award-winning duo The Chainsmokers will perform during Military Appreciation Day on Tuesday, March 10th. Get tickets and parking today at theplayers.com.
Maximize the beauty of your home with custom-made windows and patio doors. Frank Frangie here for Renewal by Anderson. Experience the miracle of Fibrex. It has the strength of wood and the low maintenance of vinyl. They won't fade, flake, blister, or peel. Right now, celebrate President's Day all month long with 20% on every window and all patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, or interest for 12 months with approved credit. Schedule your complimentary in-home design consultation now to take advantage of these great savings. You can expect superior customer service throughout the entire process. Folks, you're not just replacing your windows and patio doors, you're increasing the value of your home. So visit renewalbyanderson.com for details or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just across from the movie theater. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, a better way to a better window. License CGC 1527613.
Want to feel the need for speed on the golf course? Come into Edwin Watts Golf and check out the new Cobra Speed Zone drivers, fairways, irons, and hybrids. The new King Speed Zone driver and King Speed Zone Extreme driver has been designed to go as fast and straight as possible. New Speed Zone King SC is Cobra's first ever carbon fiber iron line that delivers maximum speed, power, and forgiveness. Get custom fit today and receive a 50% bonus trade-in towards any new Cobra Speed Zone Series golf club. Edwin Watts Golf, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
There are certain things your vehicle doesn't like. Nails in the road, that person who dinged your door, and the icy mistress that is winter. Cold weather can do a number on your battery, so if it's feeling sluggish while starting, stop by Advanced Auto Parts. We'll test it for free. And if it needs to be replaced, we have batteries starting at just $79.99. Best part, installation is free. Think ahead, think advance at Advanced Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. Free installation with purchase, most vehicles, most locations.
Hey folks, been thinking about getting your carpets cleaned? Call Zero Res, the #1 rated carpet cleaner in town. Call us to get your carpets, tile and grout, area rugs, and furniture cleaned. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Did you know that there are 215,000 IT support jobs in the U.S. waiting for a qualified candidate, with an average starting salary of $53,000 a year? It's why Google developed the IT Professional Certificates, online programs that provide the job-ready skills you need to start or advance your IT career. By completing the program, your resume can be considered by Google and 40 other top employers. And you don't need tech experience or a college degree. Enroll today at g.co/ITcert. That's g.co/ITcert.
Of course, Roland Reach Plumbing has awards from Folio Weekly and the Bold City's Best. Now, Roland Reach is also confirmed as the Google Guaranteed Plumbing Service. Because when you do plumbing right, the word gets around. That's Roland Reach Plumbing.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Andrew Gibson, and Lauren Brooks with you. Florida basketball had a prime opportunity to go into the Grove on Saturday and take care of business against Ole Miss, who at the time was just 2-7 in league play. However, Florida did not even really show up. Yes, they put up a little bit of a fight in the first half, but Frank, for the most part, it was a team that looked pretty listless to me.
It's a lost basketball team. There is, and look, I'm on Mike White's side, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. The Mike White stuff has gotten tiresome, but it's not going away. But he's not done a good job with this group. This whole transition of the four veteran guys, Stone and Stokes and Akaru and Bassett being gone,
Ballard
being gone. Even though none of them had played all that much other than Stone and whatnot, and new guys, they look like a team with a bunch of new guys. They look like they haven't made road trips, because they haven't, or the one group had just one time. He hasn't been able to find the rotation. He hasn't been able to ignite them. I'll stand my ground on this whole Omar Payne stuff. I think he's overthought this. Omar Payne's one of his best players. You got to freaking play him. You can't play Omar Payne 7 minutes and lose by 17 in a game you were a 3-point favorite. You can't do that. You can't. I don't need to go to freaking practice to know that he's one of your best players. He's clearly, next to Scotty Lewis, your best NBA prospect. The NBA is a pretty good league. Okay, he's clearly the most athletic, long run jump guy you got, along with Scotty Lewis. You got to play.
You're friends with Chris Harry, who covers the team super closely. Is there something more to this Omar Payne thing?
I haven't talked to Chris about it, and I will. I'll get Chris on the air too to talk about it. But there's obviously Payne has rubbed him wrong, whether it's with practice effort, whether he's not getting the switches on defense. It's clear when Jason Jatobo goes in the game before Payne, then clearly and one guy said, and I thought this when I was tweeting back and forth with folks, and I didn't say it till one guy said it. It smacks a little bit of Greer McElwain. Now I think Mike White's a way better coach than Jim McElwain, but something about Greer bugged McElwain. He never called him by name. He'd call Treon by name. He had him even. Well, you didn't have to know much about football to know Will Greer was 77 times better than Treon Harris on Treon's best day. Will Greer's in the NFL this year. Treon Harris, I don't know where he is. He's a nice kid. He tried, but it was comical that anybody had them grouped together. And the two coaches who grouped them together, Muschamp and McElwain, both got fired at Florida. And now, again, I think McElwain's. I think Mike White's a way better coach than Jim McElwain, but there's something up with this Payne stuff. It's coaches overthink that. Well, he had a better week of practice. So no, I'm sorry. Eric Kresser had a lot of weeks of practice better than Danny Werfel, like all of them. Okay, but you play your best guys, and so I think that's part of it. But I think all of it's gotten to him. Mike White looks like he looks like he's not having any fun. Someone made a good point. Even that video of him when the kids and the family surprised him for the birthday, he didn't look happy. He didn't look like that was a fun time for him. I see the interviews, the fun interviews they do with, like, Billis would walk with him 94 feet, and some of the SEC Network guys interview him. In the past, he was pretty funny during all that. He just looks stressed and strained. So many of the fans don't like him and want him fired, and you're making a mistake, folks, because I will tell you, you can't imagine how North Carolina and Kansas and Kentucky aren't hiring Mike White if he got fired. They're not. But but the next tier, you can't imagine how fast Texas or Oklahoma or Georgetown will hire this guy. You can't imagine how fast he'd get hired. He's really highly thought of. But I don't know how you get out of this thing now, Hayes. They are in a funk. They played miserably the other day. And the worst part was you said that you thought they were going to lose on the air. You and I both said, Lauren, we thought they might lose.
Sure.
So that's the worst thing is we weren't shocked at the loss. And so now I think their talent was overrated. Trey Mann clearly overrated. Scotty Lewis clearly not ready. Blackshear's a damn good college player, but he hadn't played in the league. Okay, he ain't dunking on anybody. He's a 6'10" guy that dunks 3 times a year. So it's clearly not this unbelievable collection of talent that should go to the Final Four and maybe win the title that we all believe. They're clearly not that. Forget how mad you are at the coach. You can hang on to they're more talented than everybody else all you want. They're okay talent-wise. It's not a magically talented team, but they can't find a rhythm. He's done a lousy job with rotation. I think he's mad at him. I think every time he talks about, Hayes, you told a story that's one of the media guys actually heard him talking about how mentally weak they were, kind of
as they walked past.
In
his press conference.
So obviously he's down on them. Fans are down on him. The team's having trouble finding consistent energy. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for a team now that I don't know where Joe Lenardi has them, but they were an 11 seed before the game.
They've got to be out.
You would think they're probably out. So I don't know how you find your way out of this thing, but I will tell you, this is a tough year. I'll say it again. I would not fire Mike White. I would give Mike White a chance to play next year without nearly this many expectations. You can't have 5 tournament wins in the last 3 years and get fired the 4th year. Not at Florida. Not at a school that's never been a blue blood. But they are in a funk. They are in a bad way. And it looks like to me they're going to have a tough time pulling out of it. I'll still say what I said. 5-2 in the 7-game stretch, and they're okay. But that means 3-0 in the next 3 is what they'd have to do.
Yeah, and I think it's over as well for the season. I don't think it's over for Mike White at Florida. To me, this is the kind of year where if you're Mike White, you step back. And last year you put it all on your returning veterans and said, these guys all have to go. I have to bring in a new group. This year, I think it's probably going to be more directed at his staff. This looks like one of those things where you have to evaluate everything you're doing as a program, top to bottom. And I don't think there'll be a lot of pressure from Scott Strickland, the AD, on Mike White, other than take a look at your staff. They're all real young guys, and whether it was, the basis of that was, recruiting or whatever, it feels like he really needs a 30-year veteran coach helping him through this part at least. Building up a program and getting the right pieces, and also, to your point, having somebody that I think can talk straight to him and that has the resume to back it up in terms of longevity in Division I basketball, and can say, Mike, we got to change this. Mike, we can't continue like this. And Frank, you've brought up the example before in Larry Shyatt, and I think it's a great one for Billy Donovan. Mike White, I think, needs that guy. He looks out of answers, and if you're the head coach, I think you're not going to fire yourself, and I certainly don't think Florida is ready to fire Mike White. But I think Mike White has to go make a really impactful hire this offseason and try and find somebody that knows the SEC and maybe isn't the recruiting dynamo. I mean, Mike White should be established enough now to where he should have some significant recruiting profile. And you're seeing the dividends
I think he
pay off.
does.
Yeah, so I don't think when he got to Florida, he probably needed a staff of recruiting guys because no one knew who Mike White was. He had never been to the NCAA tournament prior to getting to Florida. So yeah, I don't think he had that much cachet. Now I don't know that he has cachet necessarily, but I think players that are 17 years old have now seen him on national TV since they were 13 years old in the tournament. They've gotten a sense of, this is a bright coach. I think he needs some veteran savvy on his staff. I think that's the number one off-season thing. I do think it's talented. I would disagree there. I do think they're one of the more talented teams in the country. I just think he has done one of the worst coaching jobs that I've ever seen of a Florida coach in any of this in football or basketball. I don't follow enough of the other ones enough to know, but it's certainly one of the more disappointing seasons. If you combined football and basketball and since 1990, we'll say, when Spurrier arrived, I mean, to me, this is on the Mount Rushmore of most disappointing seasons.
Yeah, I would agree with you on disappointing, done a bad job. You and I see it way differently on the talent. I see, maybe one NBA player on this team. I think Duke's got 8 of them. But
we're not talking about why can't you beat Duke.
Yeah, no.
We're talking about why can't you be competitive in Oxford, Mississippi.
Bro, I think they should. I'm with you on that, but I don't see again, I disagree with you on the talent, and we can agree to disagree on that. But I think we're saying the same thing. It's been a bad year.
The problem, I think, is pretty obvious. You have terrible guard play most of the time. When you do get good guard play, Florida wins. Florida led for 1 minute and 32 seconds on Saturday, and Andrew Nembhard, who obviously was playing with a bum ankle in the second half, and I think that's why a lot of his shots were off, but overall in the entire game he made 2 baskets. Brian Tyree and that other kid, their other guard, Schuler, combined for, over 40 points. There's a massive difference, and those are the guys who set the tempo and lead the team, and they're not getting that type of leadership or good shooting from their guards.
And that's my point. I don't think that suddenly those 2 guards scored way more than the Florida guards because Kermit Davis coached them better in the last year. I don't believe that. I don't think it works like that. I don't think suddenly you play way better than the other guys because I think fans think, well, Kermit Davis is a better coach than Mike White, and that's why those 2 guards played so much. I don't think that. I think Florida. I think Locke is a streaky shooter. I think Mann is way overmatched now. Maybe great one day, but I think he's way overmatched now. Nembhard, I don't know. And Nembhard's a good player. There's no question. Look, I'm not saying they're not a good player. I think Scotty Lewis may be a really good player. I would play Nembhard, Lewis, Johnson, Payne, and Blackshear. That would be my 5. That'd be my 5. And I'd play them all 25, 30 minutes. And I might use Mann a little bit if one of the swing guys needs. I'd use Locke if I can get him hot. I'd run Locke in there and see if I can get him hot a couple times. And if he misses his first 3 or 4 threes, which he tends to do, I'd get him out of there. And that'd be my team. I'd play with the 5 guys and we'll see what winds up happening. But I wonder this too. Is everybody's on Mike White and he seems angry and is all of this making him not a good coach at Florida? You know what I mean? I mean, is all of this turning it into it not working? Now again, this is the first year it seemed this extreme, but the ranked 6th to start the season, it didn't turn out that way. FSU blows their doors off. They're going to have 10 losses by Valentine's Day. A lot of people, I didn't think they'd have 10 losses all year. So is it all, does this whole formula gone together? Team a little bit overrated. Nobody would debate that. Mike hasn't
more than a little bit overrated.
Yeah. Mike hasn't done a very good job with them. Nobody would debate that. Fans down on Mike. Nobody would debate that. Is it getting to him a little bit? It certainly seems that way. Is because it's getting to him a little bit. Is it getting to the players a little bit too? Is he getting to the players? There's a bad chemistry here, and is it not working? I mean, Lon Kruger left because he didn't think Lon Kruger's a really good basketball coach. Nobody would debate that. He may not be a great coach, but he's a really good basketball coach. He left Florida because he didn't think it was a fit. He went to Illinois, which is an okay basketball program, better than Florida at that time, but not just massive. He didn't leave to go to Indiana or Kansas because he just didn't think it fit. And you asked a great question on our text today, Lauren, on our group text. Does Mike White maybe leave? Because I will tell you, I will say this again. If Bruce Weber left Kansas State thought they could get Mike White, they'd hire him tomorrow. Now, I don't think Kansas would. I don't think Kentucky or Duke would. But that 15 through 30 program would certainly interview Mike White in a minute. That's just how he's, like it or not, that's how he's thought of in basketball circles.
Right, because I'm with you, Hayes. I don't think he's getting fired. But if I'm him, amidst all of this, I'm thinking I would way rather be at a different school where the expectations are more realistic than what Gator fans are thinking.
Yeah, so we'll see. And the final thought is, can they salvage it? Because I'm like you, Hayes, I don't think so. I don't think they salvage this.
No, you're right. They're going to have a 10th loss before Valentine's Day because they're not winning at College Station.
Yeah.
And they'll be 14-10. And, yeah, I think from that point, if you're 14-10 and 6-5 in the league and you still have games at Kentucky, against LSU, at Tennessee, at Georgia, and home against Kentucky, yeah, I don't think you have much of a chance. They may not make the NIT, but they may not finish with a winning record.
Yeah, and I think they'll have I think they'll be in the NIT at worst. But would it shock you if they went and won the next 3?
Of course not, because they're so incredibly inconsistent. They can come back from these gigantic deficits, which seems impossible at times because they're usually the ones going on the scoring drought. Texas A&M just lost by 20 to South Carolina. It's not like they're a world.
They're playing 2 teams now that aren't going to be in the tournament. Arkansas might be in the tournament. The next 2 teams are not in the tournament. It would not surprise me if they win all 3. It also wouldn't surprise me if they lose 2 out of 3. I think Vanderbilt probably would surprise me. But so we'll see. So this is a Gator basketball team that we'll see where they land. But it is really not working. It is a when a coach loses his fans, it's hard to get them back. Right? Hard to get them back when you lose your fans. Beyond that, I don't think is he on the hot seat?
With the athletic director, no.
Well, there's only one hot seat. Is he on it? Well, the hot seat kind of is everybody. It's kind of the AD,
is there
the
noise
fans,
in the system?
the media.
Of course, but
is he on the hot seat?
No.
I don't think he's on the hot seat either. But there is noise in the system.
Right.
So how does that all kind of mesh together? And the noise in the system kind of precedes the hot seat, doesn't it? And Ron Zook went from not on the hot seat to noise in the system to a quick hot seat to fired. His hot seat wasn't very long, really. He went. Jeremy Foley's one of my dear friends. Jeremy Foley told me early in that year, "I'm committed to this guy, Frank." It was in the Gator. It was in the press box. I'm committed to this guy. That year he fired him. And I asked him about that. He said, "You know what? I wasn't lying to you," which he wasn't. Jeremy wouldn't lie. And he said, "I changed my mind when it all got crazy in the fraternity house stuff and all that stuff." So we'll see. A tough loss for Florida where they really weren't even competitive. Back to FSU, Duke later on in the program. Also UNF, JU. The Rumble going to be good this week. Okay, we got a good Rumble coming up this week. They both won over the weekend. We'll get to that. But I want to get to Yannick Ngakoue, and I want to get to the Jaguars. You're not happy about Bill Barnwell's direction, are you? You wanted to fight Barnwell. Barnwell called me and said, "Why does Carline want to fight me? Okay, why does he want to fight me?"
I've got your back.
Okay, so there you go.
It was brutal. I'm still nauseous.
Back in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You want great barbecue? You want Bono's. Best barbecue around. Brooks and I have our planning meetings every Monday, and we plan the week while eating that great Bono's barbecue. Man, is it good stuff. Brooks gets that salad, barbecue salad. I get that all dark meat chicken and green beans, and is it good. If you want great barbecue, you want Bono's. 15 locations in town. Fast, friendly service, clean family restaurants, and just great barbecue. A legend in Jacksonville. If you want great barbecue, your choice is easy. You want Bono's.
Gator fans, want news on your favorite team from insiders who've covered the program for decades? Looking for live conversations and analysis every day, all year, from local personalities who bleed orange and blue? How about 2 weekly Gator podcasts? Find it on 1010XL or find it nowhere. 1010XL, your Gator station. Always has been, always will be.
Hey folks, it's the tax time of year, and hopefully it's your tax refund time of year. You got a little cash in your pocket. If you need to buy a new car, well, at Nimnick, they'll make that tax refund go so much further with great pricing and great selection. That means Nimnick Chevrolet, which is on Cassett Avenue. It means Nimnick Buick GMC, located on Phillips Highway. Use that tax refund the right way. Get a car you're going to love and get it from Nimnick, your friends in the car business. It's 1941.
Ackerman Urology has the latest options for improving men's health and vitality. Our board-certified urologists treat prostate disease and sexual health issues to ensure your confidence and wellness. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Play Pie Gown now. Take hold of Texas Hold'em. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 card poker to win big at Best Bet. That's right. You don't have to be a jet setter or a high roller to be a winner. Head on over to Best Bet in Jacksonville and Orange Park for world-class card games right in your own backyard. Enjoy poker, games for all skill levels, a full menu of tasty food and delicious drinks. Find your favorite card game at Best Bet. Experience the best.
1010XL salutes the High School Scholar Athlete of the Week. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
When you owe the IRS or Florida sales tax and can't pay, contact J. David Tax Law. Voted best tax attorney by Folio Weekly readers and an ultimate tax attorney by the Jacksonville Business Journal. Stop collection action and permanently resolve your tax problem. Peace of mind is only a click or call away. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Online at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Instant Keys specializes in creating replacement automotive keys, even when all the originals are lost or broken. Instant Keys provides expert service for nearly every foreign and domestic vehicle, including the high-end luxury models like BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, and Infiniti. With Instant Keys, you'll get dealership-level service at a fraction of the cost without the dealership hassles. If you need honest, professional locksmith service, call the best around. Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindowWorld today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
WindoWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
WindoWorld also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
The show after the show is happening now at General RV. This Wednesday to Sunday, you'll save with 5 more days of RV show prices, exclusive rebates, and top dollar trades at our Super Center in Orange Park. We have hundreds of gas and diesel motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels in stock, and our experts can help you find the RV of your dreams. You'll save thousands with our low prices and big rebates during the show after the show sale. This week only at General RV in Orange Park on Wells Road off 295.
I have to go to the gym and untangle my headphones while warming up on the treadmill. And I'll finally untangle them 4 miles later, at which point I'm gonna be real tired! Oh, yeah!
Motorcycles make everything exciting. And when Geico makes it easy to switch and save on motorcycle insurance, it's even more exciting.
And once I put my headphones in, I realize my phone's dead! Then I get to run in silence!
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. Geico presents, not again, another voicemail from your roommate.
Hey man, so I was in a rush to get to work and I left the back door open. Could you shut it? I left it wide open. While you're there, could you also turn off the oven? And all of the burners. My mom never let me use the oven. I wonder why.
The Geico Insurance Agency could help keep your personal property protected, like if it's your roommate's first time operating an oven. Visit geico.com to see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire, with 4 locations on the First Coast to serve you.
I think a Gawkway, because you can franchise them. And I don't see Jan sitting out for $19 million with that on the table, or $17 on the table, whatever that is. That's one. 2, you know how you cure your disappointment and your offense at a place when they give you, $20+ million a year? Like, all of a sudden, you feel better about everybody.
The words of Tony Baselli discussing defensive end number 91 Yannick Ngakoue and whether or not he will be playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2020 season. Do you agree, Frank? There's no way that he sits out?
Yes, no way. He's going to play for the Jaguars. Here's my thought on Yannick. Number one, to what Tony said and Hayes we talked about at the top, there's no chance Yannick Ngakoue is going to sit out. He loves playing. This is a crucial year for him. He has not done enough to not play. This isn't Le'Veon Bell, who had been to a bunch of Pro Bowls and was roundly regarded as one of the best 2 or 3 backs in the league when he sat out a season.
And he'd already made a bunch of money.
And he had all the money. Yannick has not made a bunch of money, nor has he done those other things, so he can't sit out. The team, after all the stuff, all the negativity, there's no chance you're going to look up and he's playing for somebody else. There's no chance. The team's not going to let that happen. You don't have enough. I've said this for months. You don't have enough good players to let one of your good ones get away. So I hope they come to an extension. I think this is one of those situations. And I was thinking about this when I put it down as a topic for today. This is one of those situations. Yannick Ngakoue is one of those guys that has the attention of the young fan. Okay, the same young fan that thinks Minshew's great and Foles is terrible. The same young fan that thought the team was shame on the team for running off Ramsey. There's that group of fans. Okay, that group is all in the Yannick camp. Okay, that same group, they love Yannick. And he should love him. He's good. He's a good guy. He plays well. That group of fans doesn't see the fact that he's not great against the run. That group of fans can't understand why the team won't give him $22 million a year. So I'm not saying you pander to that group of fans, but when things have been difficult, you have to be careful a little bit. And I think that's and so I don't think that for all the stuff, the team's not going to let him get away. All right, and I think they're wise not to. Football people say he's not a $22 million a year guy. Yannick in his camp probably thinks he is a $20+ million a year guy. So I think the way it ends is he plays for the franchise tag. My question, Hayes, and for both of you guys, but as we talk about this is, what's the best case scenario and what's the worst realistic case scenario in your mind, and where do you think it will end? Best case for me is they sign a 4-year deal that everybody's happy with or whatever. Worst case is they franchise him and he sits out. That's the worst case for everybody. I don't think letting him walk is going to happen. What I do think will happen, where I think it's going to land, is he plays for the franchise tag. You're up.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen.
I do too.
I think that would be a real mistake on Dave Caldwell's part. And once you tag a player, once they play a year on the franchise tag, all the leverage switches to the player. Is the club now going to franchise tag him twice and take the substantial increase that comes with that? That is a tenuous road to go down. And at that point, the player can sense how close they are to the open market. So unless you're going to drastically overpay at that point, then the player looks at it and says, tag me again, and I'll take this substantial raise, or let me hit the market now. But I'm not doing an extension. There's no benefit for Yannick Ngakoue to do a long-term extension with the Jaguars if they franchise tag him this year. I think it would make no sense, I think, for the Jaguars to put the franchise tag on. They may have no choice if they can't get a deal done. But if they can't get a deal done with Yannick Ngakoue, then it will be one of the more incompetent things that we've seen this front office do. Because here you've got, who cares? If he was great against the run and lousy against the pass, he'd be going to free agency to sign a 1-year, $3 million deal with somebody. Because no one cares about that. That's not what wins you games in this league anymore. These guys are paid to get to the quarterback. Yannick's sack numbers are not as spectacular as some other players that we've seen. But again, I think you have to look at game conditions, game situations. How often did the team play with a second-half lead the last 2 years? Not very often. To me, they've got to come to an agreement with Yannick Ngakoue, and they've got to do it now. And that's not for only his benefit. That is for the Jaguar benefit, because you can make that first-year cap number incredibly low.
So what you're saying is overpay, and I don't disagree with this, by the way, overpay based on the value you have if you have to.
Yes.
Overpay if you have to. Because that's the bottom line. You're saying overpay. This is one you overpay if you have to.
Yeah, and again, look at the numbers that we're seeing the top edge rushers in this free agency class get thrown at. I mean, you're looking at 5-year, $125 million range on some of these guys. So, look, you're going to have to pay him $20 million a year to keep him. And I think you just have to ask yourself, are you really willing to let him go? Because if you tag him, I don't know that you can count on getting a lot out of him because he's going to miss everything. And guys that do that normally don't have the best of seasons. But I just don't think there's any good path to go down at that point for the Jaguars. It's like, yes, you're tagging him and you're kicking it down the line a year, but then it's going to be a lot harder to fix than it is now.
Do you overpay
so
him?
Do it now.
Do you overpay him?
I think
let me clarify before you answer that, Lauren. When I say overpay, the team may think he's overpaying, and maybe Yannick or someone else doesn't. When I say overpay, I'm saying, do you pay him more than you think he's worth? When I say overpay, based on where you have the cap. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been very critical of him in the run game, but at the same time, he's a strip sack artist, and this team is not as good without him. They are going to have to overpay him, and I think they will because of the things that Dave Caldwell said, that he's a top priority. And I also wonder, was it more the Tom Coughlin line of thinking, saying, we're not going to overpay him, this is the line drawn in the sand, and now that he's gone.
If that's the case, why isn't a deal done now?
I would hope a deal is done in the next 2 weeks.
But again, back to your point, if this had anything to do with...
Maybe they're still negotiating guaranteed money at this point.
Yeah, okay, but you see my point, though. The Tom Coughlin's been gone a while.
Sure.
There's been a lot of chances to extend him since then. So for me, but where I'm going with this, and Hayes kind of hit on it too, I'd overpay him because of the stuff. Because you don't have enough good players, because you need a little bit of goodwill with your fans, because he's a clear fan favorite. I would go higher than I would for him in another situation. I'm not smart enough to know what a guy's worth. People say, I think he's worth 20.38, but he's not worth – I'm not smart enough to know that. I'm not going to lie. But I do know that where the standoff is, that there's a pretty good gap between where he thinks he should be and where they think he should be. We all know that. There's a pretty good little gap. This is one time, if I'm the team, I bite the bullet on the gap. And I also probably do it with Calais. Even though I get it. It's a lot of money for 25 plays a game or whatever he should be playing. But again, I think this team's in an unusual circumstance. The other thing is, by the way, it's pretty clear now that everybody thinks they got to win right now. That the people that want to keep their jobs have to win right now. Well, no matter what you do, you're not better without those two guys on your team, right? Nobody would debate that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you said something that I think is interesting, and I've heard a lot of people say this, and I don't quite get it. This whole Calais Campbell is only going to play 25, 30 snaps next year. Why would that be the case? He played like 78% of the snaps last year. He played 818 snaps.
Great point.
So why all of a sudden is it – I mean, I can understand a reduction to, 60% maybe, 65%. But this is not a player that all of a sudden is going to be playing 40% of the snaps in a game.
That's a good point. And I'm probably following the narrative a little bit, which I shouldn't do. The collective belief is the reason Calais struggled some last year is at this point in his career, with as much tread on the tires as he has, he probably shouldn't be playing as many plays. And I'm probably guilty of following the narrative a little bit. Your point's a good one. There's no rule that says that. Calais playing too many plays is probably better than another guy playing the right amount of plays. That's kind of your point, I think, right? I think what was it going to be? 33. Typically, a 33-year-old defensive end doesn't play 60 plays. I think that's why people say it. They're following the narrative. They're following habit, right? And I don't know how many plays that Freeney and Mathis and Terrell Suggs and other guys played as they got older. But they're different players than him, by the way. They're edge rushers. He's a kind of a combo guy. But you know my point.
Right.
I think that's why people. Your question's a good one, though. I hear you.
Right. But if I told you guys, based on what you saw out of Calais last year, and I told you he was playing basically 78% of the time, wouldn't you be more apt to play him maybe 65% of the time as opposed to 40% of the time?
Yeah, I do. It's a very good point. I don't play him 40% just because everybody says that's where he is in his career. That's your point, I think. I agree with you. I think it's a really good. I think you need those two guys on your team. For all the reasons I think you need those two guys have to be on your football team.
Yeah, and like you said, this team is in a different situation than a lot of other teams. Maybe other teams don't look at it and say, we really need these two good guys and now veteran guys in our locker room. Other teams may not need that. This team does.
Gibby, you have some news for us.
Quick update. Which one of us had the LA Wildcats?
That would be Hayes.
That would be you, Hayes. You're looking for a new defensive coordinator after one game.
I saw that. They fired Pepper Johnson, gone from the XFL. I did see that. That is kind of funny. We'll talk about it. I guess there's a reason why. But for a moment, back to Ngakoue and Calais for a second here. If on you need cornerbacks, because I don't think they're keeping Boye. I may be wrong. You and I differ on that, but I don't think they're keeping Boye. You need depth at linebacker, okay? Your two safeties played okay. Not much depth there. Most people agree you got to do something on the offensive line. There's not a tight end in sight. How in the world do you let the one position where you're fortified get weak? That's the thing. You got maybe one spot on the whole team. Again, I kind of like the quarterback room, but you have kind of one spot on your team with between those three guys, Josh Allen and those two guys, you're kind of fortified at one spot. Don't weaken the one spot where you're fortified, right? That's kind of the point, too.
You might have 3 stars.
Yeah, right. That's the one spot where if you have all 3 guys, you can kind of exhale a little bit. There's not very many of them. Receiver, kind of, But I even kind of like their running back room more than most do because I think the 2 young backs are pretty good.
Receiver.
But the one spot where you're kind of fortified, don't weaken the one spot where you're fortified when you got to support so many other spots.
Especially because it's the trenches. And if I'm in Ngakoue's camp, I'm like, you overpaid, and then I start going down the list of guys. I don't really care if you think you're overpaying me. I'm actually more worth it than any other guy you've overpaid.
Where's it going to land? Right now, where's it going to land? When in September, what's the circumstance with Yannick Ngakoue?
He becomes the first $100 million player for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They sign him for $20 million a year. Where's it land?
I agree with that, and I'm hoping it's in the next 2 weeks.
I hope you're both right. I'm rooting for you to be right. I'm rooting like crazy for you to be right. I think he plays under the tag, and I hope I'm wrong. But that's where I think it lands. More in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I guess they just don't make them like they used to, huh? No! Nobody ever made them like this.
This is 1010XL.
This is it. This is definitely it.
The First Coast Acura Dealers President's Day sale is back. The dealing starts now on the most affordable performance luxury sedan in the Jacksonville area, the 2020 Acura TLX. Shop FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com right now and take advantage of 1.9% APR. Thousands more choose the Acura TLX because it's loaded with value. Drive the NHTSA's high-scoring luxury sedan featuring collision mitigation braking, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto integration. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com. APR offer valid for well-qualified buyers. 36 payments of $28.60 a month for $1,000 finance. Excludes PMC edition. Dealer sets on prices. See dealer for details.
Jeff Prosser here. I'm with Jeff Breyer, owner of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Jeff, over the years, I'm sure you've cured a lot of patio envy.
Jeff, now is the time to visit our showroom to get your dream patio and to cure for patio envy. We'll design the sunroom, screen enclosure, or patio of your dreams.
You also do flooring?
Absolutely. At Lifetime Flooring, we can update your entire home with luxury vinyl plank, carpet, tile, or hardwood.
Visit Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring today, just south of Bay Meadows on Phillips Highway.
And don't forget to ask about our current specials.
License CRC 028471.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Now get financing as low as 0.99% APR for up to 60 months. Now through March 31st, 2020. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road, Jacksonville, and in McClenny.
Frank Frangie with big news about Center State Bank, Jacksonville's best bank. It's growing, with branches now in virtually every area of town. Center State now is on the south side of Beach and Hodges, in Orange Park, in San Marco, the west side in Ortega, Riverside, and Normandy Boulevard, and even 3 in St. Augustine. So many locations. And with the same great service, same great people, bankers you can trust. Bankers that I trust and have for the longest time. You want a great bank? Well, then you want Center State, the best bank around. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses right here in Jacksonville? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll be introduced to our 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Stan Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Jacksonville area who want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Jacksonville is a perfect market for my system, and this week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where we'll share how to get started making money flipping houses and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000 right now because this free ticket offer expires this Wednesday. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, the Shops of Ponte Vedra.
My name is Janice. I'm a client of Brett Hastings. Brett is the most brilliant, diligent, hardworking attorney I have ever met. He is truly dedicated to his clients and fights for them to the very end. Brett fought hard to win a large personal injury lawsuit for me. They are the very best legal team I have ever met. I would hire them again in a heartbeat.
Learn more at justiceforjacksonville.com. Law offices of Brett Hastings, where the injured find justice.
TPC Sawgrass, the Players Stadium course and the best field in the game assembled once again.
It's the toughest tournament to win. It's got the deepest field in the world on one of the most iconic golf courses in the world. Very proud, very honored to be able to call myself a Players Champion.
Experience our gold standard when the Players returns March 10th through 15th. Tickets and parking available at theplayers.com.
If you're a grandpa like me, well, you can take your grandkids to Woody's Barbecue on Monday night, and they'll eat free. Hi, Flying Jacko here, and I'm going there tonight.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by The Best Bet. Tony Baselli, a guest this morning of The Drill, was asked about the current quarterback room with the Jaguars.
I look at Gardner Minshew, and I don't know. There's part of me that says, yeah, I like him. I think he can be the guy. I look at Gardner Minshew, and I say, okay, there's a lot of things I really, really like. And then there's some things I have some really big questions about, and I'm kind of like, I still need to see more.
Yeah.
And I hope he's the guy. I hope he's the guy because I really like him. And then I look at Nick Foles, and I say, boy, for short spurts, I've seen this guy do amazing things, but I've never seen him do it over the long term. So I'm like, I'm not sure there either.
Tony Baselli, a guest of The Drill. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers have parted ways after 16 seasons. He will be a free agent. 78 degrees at 4:01. Time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire, with 4 locations on the First Coast to serve you.
Frank Frangie along with Hayes Carlisle and Lauren Brooks. Andrew Gibson with you. You and Barnwell go out for drinks often? You and Bill?
We do not.
You drink whiskey. He drinks like champagne.
Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, Yoo-hoo.
Shirley Temples is what I'm guessing.
So take people through
take
people through his scenario where he's got this guy going there and that guy going here, and he's having some fun with it.
He is. It's actually really clever.
It was clever.
And it's well done if you go to ESPN's website.
Very well done. Even the way they laid it out.
How they presented it, yeah. So basically he takes like 6 players and gives you sort of the well, what would happen if, and Tom Brady signs with the Indianapolis Colts, then this would happen, and then this would cause this domino to fall, and sort of goes down the line. So it's very clever. The only problem with it is the scenarios that Barnwell lays out when it comes to the Jaguars made me want to puke.
Go through them.
And so we'll start with Tom Brady. And that was the one that it kind of threw me off that so many of these had that element in them. But with Brady, the one that really jumped out was Brady to the Colts. So Brady signs with the Colts, 4 years, $160 million. So in Barnwell's mind, the Patriots then trade their first-round pick for Matt Stafford, which leads to Teddy Bridgewater signing with the Chargers. Okay, yada, yada, yada. All right, so here we go.
Let's take people through
Okay,
it.
so then Teddy Bridgewater signs a 2-year, $60 million deal with the Chargers.
Right, he becomes the Chargers quarterback.
So how does this affect the Jaguars? And some of these are fairly, I will say he's drawing kind of a line that I'm not sure the domino would affect it, but what Bill Barnwell has is the Jaguars trading up with the Dolphins to the 5th spot to take Justin Herbert, which would not be good in my opinion. And so in the deal, the Jaguars are giving up the 9th pick to move up, obviously 4 spots. They're giving up their first rounder in 2021. They're giving up Nick Foles, and they're giving up a 4th-round pick in this scenario this year to get rid of Nick Foles. So that was one that I thought was really interesting. Another one that Barnwell laid out was he was really big into how the Jaguars are going to dump Nick Foles. So there was like 3 different ways in which that played in. One was that he has Tom Brady signing with the Chargers.
Right.
5 years, $180 million. Then he's got Phillip Rivers signing with the Jaguars. 4 years, $100 million deal. So then, now I get it. Now you have to find a way to get rid of Foles. So he has Foles being traded to the Colts. And this I didn't think was overly this one I think I could actually stomach. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Would you be willing, particularly if you, let's just say for argument's sake, what Barnwell lays out here happens. So you sign Phillip Rivers.
If you're the Jags.
If you're the Jags. So who was announced after this was published that the Chargers announced that he is going to be a free agent. Right. He's done with the Chargers. So Phillip Rivers will be on the market. So would you trade Foles and in exchange for the Colts taking him off your hands, would you agree to give them the 20th pick in the draft if they sent you back the 39th pick? So you'd basically be moving down 19 spots in the draft to unload Nick Foles.
No. I would not give up that 20th pick. I think the 20th best player in the draft might be a really good football player, and the Jags need really good football players. And I think significant enough difference in my mind between the 20th pick and the 39th pick. So there's no chance I would do it.
I'm with you. I wouldn't do it either. What do you think about signing Rivers at age 38 to a 4-year deal for that expensive?
I don't think there's any chance that it happens.
Would you like it, though?
If Rivers' agent reached out and said, we like what you're doing in Jacksonville, not that anybody would say that, I think Rivers has a lot of good football left. I'm probably more in the minority with that than others. I think the Chargers are making a mistake.
But I think 2 years is much
I think the way he phrases this is that it basically is like a 1-year deal. It'd be something that they could get out of pretty quick, certainly after 2. Okay. So it's a 4-year, $100 million deal that probably is really a 2-year deal. I like Phillip Rivers. I would take Phillip Rivers over Nick Foles. I would take Phillip Rivers over probably – well, we talked about it the other day. Like, I think he's got more of a potential to have a better second act than Tom Brady. I think he's younger. I think all that stuff comes into play.
20 interceptions, though, this past season. 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions.
Yeah, and I get all that. I still see – when I watch him, I see a guy that I still think can play. But we'll see. The problem with all this is Gardner Minshew has shown you so much as a rookie, even as inconsistent as he was, that if you were to sign Phillip Rivers, now you're basically saying, well, we've reached the conclusion that Gardner Minshew is nothing more than a backup in this league. And I think that may be where this ends up, but I think the Jaguars owe it to themselves to give him more of a chance to show he can be an answer, as opposed to signing a veteran like Rivers and instantly making Minshew the backup with no chance to compete for the job.
Yeah, I don't think, with all due respect to Bill Barnwell, there's any chance the Jaguars are signing Phillip Rivers. I think the Jaguars, A, are going to try and make Gardner Minshew their quarterback. B, are going to give Nick Foles another chance to be their quarterback. C, if neither of those are good options, we'll draft a quarterback. I don't think they ever get to option 4, which is sign another veteran quarterback. So I'd be very surprised if that happens. Baselli said today on the air, and Gibby, pull this up if you would, kind of the thing that I've said all along about, this is cut 4, about the whole Nick Foles thing. And here was Tony this morning on the show. So, but he talked more. I mean, the whole point about maybe Foles is no good, but we can't possibly know it yet.
A year ago, we all said we had to get a quarterback. And when we signed Nick Foles, there was an eruption of joy from the standpoint of we got our guy. We got Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, led the Eagles to the Super Bowl playoffs last year. I don't remember. Like, there was questions. The only questions like some of us had is, did we pay too much? Is he worth the money?
Did we bid against ourselves?
Did we bid against ourselves? But I don't remember anyone saying, shucks, we got Nick Foles. Everyone was saying we got the best quarterback available.
And now, you didn't hear the rest of the cut, but now he plays 2.5 games and he stinks. You guys heard my take on this. It is the most surprising, astounding take we've had in Jacksonville, maybe in the 25 years we've had the team, that people now think Nick Foles is no good. That, to me, has puzzled me more than I can't remember another Jaguars take that has made me as astounded as that one, that all of a sudden Nick Foles, now he may not be any good, but that one more than any in the 25 years we've had a team astounds me.
I definitely said I'm worried about his injury history and his inconsistencies. So I know that collectively, yes, we were excited to have him come here. But there were certainly questions that we had about Nick Foles going in. And what you and I have argued about, Frank, is what the Jaguars fans have seen is bad football from Nick Foles. The Jaguars, yes, when he played for other teams, they saw good football. But when in Jacksonville, he has not played well. Yeah, and that's why they're making their assessment.
Yeah, and my response, without getting us the same argument over again, they've seen 2.5 games. Okay, I've seen Tony Baselli have a bad game or two. He was pretty good. I've seen Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew have a bad game or two. So that was been my point. But back to the whole quarterback thing, so we don't go. You know how bizarre I think the whole Foles, the way the fans feel about Foles thing is. But I'm not convinced either, and I'm not convinced on Minshew either. Your point, Minshew, if there's one thing we do know, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks, 6 wins as a rookie. He deserves a chance to fight for. At worst case, Minshew deserves a chance to battle anybody for that job because he was available and he did pretty damn well. So nobody debates the fact that he deserves a chance to battle out for that thing. So I'd be surprised if, again, I'll be surprised again. And Doug has said it, Dave has said it. Those guys, whether they're right or not, I still like your position that Dave Caldwell will retire here as the general manager.
General Manager Emeritus, Dave Caldwell.
But seriously, I do believe in my heart of hearts that those guys truly believe this is it. If you don't get to the tournament, like you said last, Lauren, I thought you said it perfectly, they're probably out. I think that's their belief, and I think it's kind of my belief too. So maybe you get the veteran quarterback. You know, that's the only thing that makes me think if you really do feel that way. You can't draft Tua. You can't draft Tua because no matter how well, you're probably not, a rookie quarterback's probably not taking you to 10 wins. I don't care who he is. Okay, a rookie quarterback's probably not taking you to 10 wins. So it's probably one of those two guys. But I'm going to stay on court. I'm going to take a break. But we're going to play quarterback Jeopardy. Nah, that's not right. Quarterback.
Who is Jameis Winston?
Quarterback Wheel of Fortune.
Quarterback roulette.
Quarterback roulette. We're going to play quarterback something. I don't know what to call it yet, but it's going to be fantastic when we come back on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Lamb Rant, brought to you by the Best Bet Card Rooms at Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Did you realize the Daytona 500 is this Sunday? Kind of sneaked up on you, didn't it? The Daytona 500 was once one of American sports' supersized events. Few, if any, tickets were harder to get than the Daytona 500 tickets. That was then, this is now. Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s death in 2001 was a punch in the gut to a booming sport. Dale Jr.'s unexpected retirement 2 years ago put NASCAR racing's popularity on life support. Lord knows, in an effort to get the fans back, NASCAR worked tirelessly making changes, to no avail. Maybe they need you racing heroes, not changes. NASCAR's 25-year boom began in '79 when Richard Petty won after leaders Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison crashed going into the third turn of the final lap. They got out of their cars and fought over the infield grass. A national television audience watched in amazement. The boom began. I've quit following NASCAR. I'll glance at the 500. I just hope I recognize the winner's name.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
2020 is here, and there's no more excuses. No more excuses for not getting a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. No more excuses for not getting 5 free oil changes. No more excuses for not getting the best price and top dollar for your trade. This year, there's no excuse why you shouldn't shop at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Trust us, we don't make excuses. We make it easy peasy to do business. Take a drive and see what you've been missing. We're here to wow you.
Diamonds Direct makes it easy for you to go over the top this Valentine's with an expanded selection of the most romantic gifts and 3 years zero-interest financing on any Valentine's purchase. You know jewelry is the #1 gift for Valentine's, and Diamonds Direct is the #1 destination. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and a special selection of Simon G meticulously crafted jewelry. And if you're popping the question this weekend, check out Diamonds Direct's incredible selection of ready-to-wear engagement rings. The perfect diamond in the perfect setting at the perfect price. And now through Saturday on any purchase, you can pay nothing down and get 3 years zero-interest financing. Yes, spread your payments over 36 months with no interest on approved credit. Check out our online gift guide and even shop online if you like. DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
The highly skilled members of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians have been helping build Jacksonville for 118 years. Think about where you work. They built it. That hospital room where your children were born. They built it. The quality work and dedication of the highly skilled members of Local 234 has made them who they are since 1901. Learn more at ua234.com. Local 234. Make the right connection.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 10th, 1969, Pete Maravich scored 66 points in a losing effort against Tulane. Maravich is still the all-time leading scorer in the NCAA.
Do you suffer from acid reflux? If you have persistent heartburn, long-term use of reflux medications could lead to other problems. The experts at Baptist Center for Bariatric and Reflux Surgery can pinpoint the cause of your issue and treatment options that could end your reflux symptoms for good. Call 904-202-7335 today.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just can't say enough about Pella Windows and Doors. The highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, constant innovation and design, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports has Pella rated #1 in all 3 window categories, wood, vinyl, and composite series. So why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla. Pella Windows and Doors, and tell them Mike sent you.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience our gold standard as the world's best golfers take on the Island Green. Bring the whole family to stock up on one-of-a-kind gear in the PGA Tour Fan Shop and enjoy bites from top local restaurants. Plus, award-winning duo The Chainsmokers will perform during Military Appreciation Day on Tuesday, March 10th. Get tickets and parking today at theplayers.com.
The Truck Accident Law Firm is a national truck crash law firm based right here in Jacksonville, focused on making First Coast roads safer through zealous advocacy for families of those injured or killed by unsafe trucking. The Truck Accident Law Firm focuses exclusively on tractor-trailer, bus, and commercial vehicle crashes. If someone you know is involved in a serious crash with a tractor-trailer or commercial vehicle, contact your local truck crash specialists at truckcrashlaw.com. Non-attorney spokesperson.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire, with 4 locations on the First Coast to serve you.
Our friends at Big Chief Tire, always a sponsor on our Mondays and Fridays here on The Frangie Show. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Andrew Gibson, and Lauren Brooks with you. This Friday is Valentine's Day, so gentlemen, you know what that means. Make sure that you get your lady something special, and if you are caller number 4 right now at 641-1010, you will win a $25 gift card to Woody's Barbecue, plus a Peterbrook chocolate gift basket. And for more Valentine's Day shopping ideas, just visit 1010xl.com. So that's caller number 4 at 641-1010. Frank, did you come up with a name for this quarterback game?
Quarterback, Derby, Roulette, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune. How's that?
Like it.
It's going to be hard.
Sounds complicated.
The graphic's going to be hard, okay?
No whammies.
No whammies.
I'll be Vanna White.
Okay, you be. All right, you will be Vanna. You'll be a good Vanna. All right, here we go. I'm going to name a quarterback. You tell me where he's playing next year and what his role is. Ready?
I like it.
Ready? Okay, here we go. I'm going to name a quarter. You ready for this? You don't look like you like this idea. I know you like to have 27 hours to prepare everything. Okay, so how about this?
Get Rob Bolton on the
phone.
Rob did not help me last week, by the way.
So we'll go off.
Russell Knox didn't make the cut.
Let's do
Still
this.
a little bitter.
Let's just play music and go off the air for 15 minutes while you prepare, and then we'll do it.
You saw my concentrating face. I'm concentrating.
Okay, so
That's
here
what
we
I'm
go.
doing right now.
Hayes Carline, he hails from the Bowl School. Tom Brady.
New England.
Is the starting quarterback.
Starting quarterback for the Patriots.
I agree with you. What about
Same.
you? Okay. Hayes Carline, a former patrol guard at Bay Meadows Elementary.
Close.
Phillip Rivers.
Tampa Bay.
As?
Starting quarterback.
I agreed. We're 2 for 2.
Yep, coming with him.
We're all 3.
I think did you start that, or was that did you start Brady?
I
You
think
started
I
Brady
started
at Tampa.
Brady.
Okay.
But
Tampa is, I think, the most attractive spot.
For sure.
I mean, not the most attractive spot for Tom Brady is staying with New England.
Right.
But if you've got to leave,
Right.
then I think Tampa Bay is the best spot.
Yeah,
Like now,
Bruce
Rivers,
Arians.
like with them saying he's definitely leaving the Chargers, I'd get with Bruce Arians.
Okay. Lauren Brooks, a former coxswain on the St. Paul's rowing team. I wanted to say that so long. I feel so proud of myself right now. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is no longer playing football. He retires, and he is a full-time stay-at-home dad.
And maybe the Monday night.
He potentially could
And
do
maybe the Monday
broadcasting,
night, okay,
but
so
I
retired.
think he focuses on being a parent for a little while.
Okay, very nice.
What a brilliant hire that would be, by the way,
Well,
if they got him to do Monday Night
all
Football.
the talk is
Yeah.
that if he gets out of it, he will have a very prominent broadcast role.
And I think he'll be outstanding.
I do too.
But I think he's the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints.
I do too. I think he's the starting quarterback for
I think the longer it goes without him saying, the more he's leaning towards retirement.
Okay.
I think if he was playing next year, he would have told us already. But we'll
Teddy
see.
Bridgewater, Lauren Brooks from St. Paul's Middle.
Starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints.
Teddy Bridgewater, Hayes Carline from the Moss Pit.
I will say he's in a competition with the LA Chargers.
With the Chargers. I think he will be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. I think he goes home. So that's what I say. So we have Bridgewater starting in New Orleans, trying to win the job in LA with the Chargers, and starting for Miami. How about that? Okay.
It's a little bit of a shakeup.
Okay. Jameis Winston, Hayes Carline.
I will say Jameis Winston ends up backing up Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I say I don't have his team yet, but I say back up to a veteran.
Maybe like competing a little bit with Jacoby Brissett in Indianapolis.
Something like that. But goes in as a backup. We all agree. Okay. Josh Rosen.
I'll say he is the backup in Miami still.
Yeah, me too. I think he backs up Teddy. I think Bridgewater is the starter, gets good money, and I think Rosen is the wind up being the backup to him.
Backup.
Mitch Trubisky.
He'll be the starter in Chicago, at least for the first 5 weeks of the year.
He will start in Chicago, which means you don't think they bring anybody in.
Maybe like Mariota or Andy Dalton, but I don't think it'll be anybody that I don't think it'll be like Cam Newton, who immediately probably unseats him.
Okay.
But I think Rosen backs up Tua Tagovailoa in Miami.
I
think that's who drafts him.
Okay. What Trubisky?
Yeah, they've sunk too much into him. He'll start, but I don't think he finishes the season as the starter.
So Trubisky starts in Chicago. I'm really torn on this one. I think Chicago, I don't know who. I think Chicago brings in another quarterback that ultimately has the job.
Like Mariota, Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I'm about to get to those two. Yep. So I would say Trubisky back up in Chicago. I don't even think he wins the job.
Wow.
Which gets us to Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I think he's a backup somewhere, maybe Chicago.
I say starting in Chicago.
I'll say backup in Chicago.
Because I think he gets one more chance. And maybe that's it. Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I don't know where he'll be, but I think he's a backup wherever he ends up.
He's Chad Henne. I think his day in the sun's over. I think he needs an injury. I don't think he's got a second life like Ryan Tannehill did. So I think he's a backup in pick your spot.
And
Arizona.
That was one interesting thing that Barnwell had in this and his getting rid of Foles is he mentioned that he believes at that point the Jaguars would sign Andy Dalton to basically a 1-year, $7 million deal to back up Minshew. So again, that's where in terms of your cap, you're only saving like $3 to $4 million by trading Nick Foles. Now you've got to go and sign Andy Dalton and pay him $7 million. So again, even in trading Nick Foles, from a salary cap standpoint, you've lost out. So again, just another example of how ridiculous this situation is with Nick Foles.
Who's the quarterback?
Themselves into?
Who's the quarterback? I'm going to get to Foles and Minshew in a minute in our quarterback derby. Who's the quarterback in Las Vegas?
I will say it is. I don't think it will be Carr.
Jameis get involved in that one?
Could it be Cam Newton?
Could, but it seems like he wants more. I don't think it'll be either one of those guys. You know who? I think it could be. They could trade up. Maybe Justin Herbert could be a guy.
And what about Andy Dalton, who Jay Gruden loves?
And that was Barn. I'm glad you said that. That was the connection to the Jaguars.
Okay.
Is that Dalton would be reunited with Jay Gruden here,
who loves him,
right? And developed him well as a rookie. So yeah, I mean, I think John and Jay are close. So Andy Dalton could be certainly in the picture for the Raiders. The Raiders kind of seem to me like they'll be the team that gets so wrapped up in the Tom Brady thing, and then he'll stay in New England. And by the time he announces that, everybody else will have signed, and the Raiders will sort of be the musical chairs loser, and they'll end up having to probably stick with Carr. So actually, I'll say Carr's their starter.
Which, talking about, sometimes you look at numbers and they prove your point, and other times you look at numbers and you're surprised. Derek Carr had really good stats this past season, yet obviously we watched him up close, and he's not a very good quarterback. But 70%, over 70% completion rate, 21 touchdowns, 8 picks. That makes you think they've got a good quarterback, and he's worth the money.
He was terrible. He was the most of the 6 years I've done games. The most surprised I was by what a quarterback was when I saw him for the first time was Derek Carr. He was not very good. I think somebody new. I think maybe Winston, maybe Cam, which gets me to Cam Newton.
I will say Cam Newton is the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
I'll say for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I think maybe the Raiders. Maybe it's not the Carolina Panthers.
No.
It's just not. Finally, Nick Foles, Brooks.
Nick Foles is the backup to Gardner Minshew. Even though Nick Foles looks 10 times better throughout training camp, they're going to start Minshew, and then we'll see how it plays out.
Nick Foles.
Backup quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I kind of think so, too. I think he starts the season. I'm not sure it ends that way, but I kind of think they don't trade him. They need two good quarterbacks. I think Minshew has deserved the right to get the ball first. And that's nothing that, in my mind, is nothing that Foles has done badly. I just think Minshew deserves to get the job first. You made a good point during our break about Nick Foles.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've brought up that he'd only played the 2.5 games, which is an excellent point. The other part of that is it's not like it was 2.5 games to start the season when everybody is sort of on the same page in terms of rust and things like that. He played 11 snaps, got hurt, and then when he comes back, everybody else is like honed. I mean, everybody else is into football, and there is no rust. And, oh, by the way, he's got a broken bone that is still in the healing process. He's cleared to play, but I'm sure he was still dealing with some of that. So it really is. It's such a amazing predicament for the Jaguars because I think they believe that he's not what they thought he would be, but there is so little evidence to show that. And there's actually way more evidence that he's what they wanted. All that evidence, unfortunately, came before they ever started the regular season. But they loved him in OTAs. They loved him in training camp. They loved everything about him. He gets hurt. You have really no idea what you have in 11 snaps. If you had to make a conclusion, you'd say you had something potentially good because his touchdown pass to Chark on the play he got hurt was brilliant. And then when he comes back, it's almost like the train's left the station and Nick is still there, and now he's having to run after the train, and you're never going to catch it. And again,
well,
I'm not. I agreed with them to go with Foles. I'm fine that they went back to Minshew.
Me too.
But it is amazing that it's amazing that he has played so little here to make a definitive conclusion that he is that he's not part of the solution moving forward.
And maybe that's not how the team feels, but fan guy wants him cut, and I'm thinking he played 2.5 games. And by the way, you made a good point. Most of the 2.5 games came right after coming back from a broken collarbone and hadn't played in 11 months. Oh, by the way, if you've got to come back from a broken collarbone and you haven't played in 11 months and you're finally back on the field, you know the kind of game you need? 13-10, where you can game manage a little bit. The first two opponents he faced rushed for 200 yards. So he's in a track meet. The minute he gets back, not only does he come back with the broken collarbone, but he's got to fire it all over the lot. And if not, they get beat by 30 because the other two teams ran crazy against the Jaguars defense the 2 games he came back. And then he stunk it up the joint in the first half of the Bucs game.
And yeah, I blame the coaches for putting him in there if he wasn't ready to play at that point in time. Only they would know that. But look, the week before, Gardner Minshew was god-awful against the Texans. It's not like Gardner was playing really well and then they went to Foles.
Yeah, I don't think
it was a disaster of a 2 weeks.
I don't think Hayes' point is that he wasn't ready. Hayes' point is that he was coming back, and it takes a few games to get ready. You got to play him because you got to get ready if you think he's going to be your guy.
By the way, I think the draft could kind of signal to us which quarterback they think, potentially, which quarterback they are going, or at least leaning towards at that point in time. If we see an offensive lineman taken at 9, Hayes, then that's when I think they're saying we got to load up, maybe even 2 offensive linemen taken with the first 2 picks, which sounds crazy. But I think that's when they're saying we're going to play Foles and we're loading up the offensive line.
Let's get it to baseball. A little hardball. Pitchers and catchers have reported. We'll talk a lot about the Astros and more. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He's big on the NFL.
Are you serious?
He's big on the Jags.
It's huge for all of us.
He's just plain big.
He is a big one.
Mike Dempsey.
Oh, yes, sir. He's a very bad man indeed.
Jaguars Today, 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Hey, folks, you still can get tickets for the best show in town this week. Elvis Viva Las Vegas. That's right. The iconic Alhambra Theater and Dining is nearly sold out, this music series, but there's a few tickets left to go see Elvis Viva Las Vegas. the tribute at Alhambra. Kevin Mills is a world-renowned tribute artist of Elvis. He's so good, the best Elvis out there. And it's a great opportunity to have a blast this week. Great food, you know that. Great fun, free parking right there on location, easy to get to on Beach Boulevard, just off I-295. Go see Elvis Viva Las Vegas at Alhambra this week. Call 641-1212 or log on to alhambrajax.com. There's not many tickets left, but there's a few. Elvis Viva Las Vegas at Alhambra, 641-1212 or log on today to alhambrajax.com.
The First Coast Acura Dealers President's Day sale is back. The dealing starts now on the top-selling luxury crossover in the Jacksonville area, the 2020 Acura RDX. Shop FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com right now and take advantage of 1.9% APR. Thousands more choose the Acura RDX because it's loaded with value. RDX is precision crafted performance coupled with Apple CarPlay, Wi-Fi hotspot, Amazon in-car delivery, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, collision mitigation braking, and more. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com. APR offer valid for well-qualified buyers. 36 payments of $28.60 a month for $1,000 fine. Dealer set on prices. See dealer for details.
Big news from Fenwick Plumbing's always on-call repair pros. Big holidays, wild temperatures, plus regular daily use push your home's plumbing to the max. Get your sinks, pipes, toilets, and more back in shape now. Take $69.50 off any Fenwick Plumbing repair. Every single repair by Fenwick's A-plus rated team includes a 30-day warranty. And here's the thing, you can't wait. Take $69.50 off any plumbing repair now. Mention me, Jeff, when you call 660-0556 or visit FenwickPlumbing.com.
You know the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center is the place to go for all of your home remodeling. But did you know that they are the only showroom in town with Karastan area rugs? Karastan has made high-quality rugs for 90 years, now offered at affordable prices. Karastan has so many options, even a Property Brothers line. Karastan rugs are perfect on hardwood, tile, or vinyl plank flooring. Plus, Karastan will get your brand new rug delivered quickly and directly to your home. Stop by the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center today on Southside Boulevard across from Tinseltown or head to floorsandkitchen.com.
Reshape your golf game at Edwin Watts with the new tailor-made Sim family. The new Sim Shape in Motion series is here, featuring the Sim, Sim Max, and Sim Max D-Type drivers, fairways, and rescues. Sim woods have been reshaped to increase your distance and swing speed, while the Sim irons are made so you no longer have to compromise distance and feel. Get custom fit today and receive a 50% bonus trade-in towards any new tailor-made Sim Series Golf Club. Now at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Three guys sitting around the bar talking sports. Literally.
And make no mistake about it, gentlemen.
Compton and Company live from Boston's at River City Marketplace.
It's a home team advantage here.
Every Wednesday night from 8 to 10.
This is your game now, gentlemen.
On 1010 a.m.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by out-of-town tax companies that focus only on signing you up without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, or unfiled returns, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law and get the help you need. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
Now with 10 locations throughout Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet is your one-stop shop for auto and tire needs. Mike Dempsey here. Tire Outlet is the largest family-owned full automotive shop in Jacksonville. That means wherever you are, they're nearby. And that means when you arrive, they can address just about any auto issue you have. An authorized dealer of Yokohama, they're always offering wholesale prices and premium service. And right now, you can get $10 off an oil change. Just visit the offers page at tireoutlet.com.
The Daytona 500. Be here on February 16th to witness the biggest race of the year, where one driver will make history as a Daytona 500 champion. Be here to feel the power that takes your breath away and brings you to the edge of your seat, and to experience the thrill of one of the greatest events in sports and one of the most iconic events in the world. This is the Daytona 500. Tickets are available now at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or Daytona500.com.
Instant Keys delivers honest, professional locksmith service for lost, broken, or spare keys. Call Instant Keys at 722-1111. Get dealership-level service in just minutes at a fraction of the cost. That's 722-1111.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and of course, Julington Creek Road.
One-to-One Financial is not your typical credit union. We have lower fees and better rates, and we invest 100% in Jacksonville. But what really matters is that we believe all people, no matter their background, deserve respect and access. We work with everyone, one-to-one, right where they are. Join us today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on The Frangie Show. Family owned since 1961. It's Big Chief Tire.
Nice little hardball here. Gibby, did you see the interview with A.J. Hinch?
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a guy who thought he got away with it but got caught and was like, yeah, I should have stopped it. I did blast the monitors and acted like I was unhappy with it when they were doing it, but I didn't stop it, and I should have stopped it. But we got away with it, and then we got caught, and I'm sorry for that.
Did y'all see it?
I did. I saw parts of it.
Excerpts, yeah.
Yeah. He's incredibly guilty. And he's not going to strip them, but if I'm Manfred and I'm watching that, I mean, it's clear that this was just if it wasn't clear before, hearing him talk about it, it's such a clear, gross violation of the sport. And he wouldn't even put the buzzer thing to bed.
Right.
Was basically like, well, they investigated that and they didn't find anything. Well, that's not the question. The question is, did you do it?
Yeah.
I thought it was. It didn't. I don't think it did him any favors. I don't think it helped the sport get past this. And I think it's pretty clear that it was rampant.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's a guy who's saying, I want a job in baseball, and so I'm going to make sure that I remain on the top of everyone's mind and seem contrite, but I'm not really ever going to say anything of interest. By the way, right now, first pitch of the second annual High School 912 Classic Baseball Tournament benefiting walk-off charities. That's so exciting.
It started right now. You better believe. We'll talk more about that coming up in a bit because you're right. It's just starting, and Inglewood and Bishop Snyder, two terrific coaches, Jason Smith and, of course, Zach Osbeck, that are really good walk-offs. So they've just started. We'll be playing all week long. We'll talk about that more later on.
Will Zach lead both teams in stretching?
He should have. He should have left both. Good, very good. Because Smitty probably said, Zach, if you don't mind.
Just lead our guys, too.
Can our guys jump out there, too? Did you watch Charlie Morton's interview? Or did you read?
I read all about it,
Did you read Charlie Morton?
I did not.
Did you read Charlie Morton?
I haven't got to it yet, no.
Said same thing Hinch said. He said, I knew it was going on. I should have done more to stop it. Well, I'm not, and Charlie Morton's one of the all-time good. He's the Dale Murphy of 2020. He's a really nice guy. He's best teammate ever. Everybody, everywhere he's been, Braves, Pirates, Rays, the Astros, they love the guy. But it's clear that's the play now. The play now is, hey, look, we got caught. So if anybody gets asked, just say, shame on us. We should have stopped.
I wasn't the leader then that I am now.
And that's what the Astros are going to. You know, the Astros are going to talk about it. Gibby, I think the first day of full workouts, they're all going to talk about it together.
Yeah, and like we said, they'll probably do a blanket statement and say this is what we're going to say about it, and we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, the February 17th is when most teams have full squads, give or take. That Monday, it's either that Monday right around then. And the word is the Astros are all going to talk that day and then not talk again.
But probably not apologize, according to what we've seen.
Well, I think what they're going to say is they're all going to, you know what they're all going to say? They're going to say, yeah, it was going on, and we shouldn't have done it, and I feel bad we kept doing it. Well, somebody's got to say I was the instigator. Somebody's got to say I'm the one that said, no, we're going to keep doing it. This thing, I agree with you. They should have the World Series title should be stripped. It shouldn't be given to the Yankees. The World Series, I mean.
The Dodgers.
Was it the Dodgers that year? I guess the Astros and the Yankees were both the American League. But the Dodgers that year, but they beat the Yankees in the ALCS, I guess it was. I heard the Yankees chirping about it. The last, and I saw a great tweet today. The last time the Yankees won was 2009. They had 4 guys that have admitted to steroids since then on that team. A-Rod was on that team. Melky Cabrera was on that team. I forget the other 2. They had 4 steroid abusers on the team that last won the title for the Yankees. So the Yankees don't need to pop off. But I think Rob Manfred now has to strip the title, not because they're the only team that ever still signs, but because it's become so big now. Because this thing is now sometimes you have to make a statement. I think you've got to strip the title now to make the statement. Today's 10-10 Take is brought to you by J. David Tax Law. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away. See, what happens in these things is sometimes things aren't as big as the story becomes. The story becomes bigger than the actual incident. And that's what's happened here. The story is bigger than the incident here. Steroids, that wasn't the case. Steroids were bigger than the story. This story is bigger than the incident because the trash can pounding was so dumb and so egregious and so easy to hear that this thing is grown. But when that happens, when a story becomes bigger than the incident, that is also an opportunity for leadership to send a message to make sure the incident doesn't happen again. If it had not been as big a story as it's become, then I don't think you strip the title. So you're saying, wait a minute, Frank, you're telling me you stripped the title because so many people are talking about it? Well, yes. You stripped the title because so many people are talking about it. The Astros should have that title stripped because so many people are talking about it. And now you've got to send the message because you'll never have a better chance than right now if you're Rob Manfred. Never have a better chance than right now to say, I'm going to put a stop to it. I'm going to put a stop to it forever because nobody wants to have their title stripped. Certainly not the Astros who never had one. They certainly didn't want to have that happen. That's what Rob Manfred should do. That is today's 10-10 Take.
10-10 Take.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing, too, is I think Manfred owes it to the sport to produce who was the Kaiser Soze behind this?
Right.
I mean,
that's right.
Whose idea was it? How did this get off the ground? And that person needs to be held accountable for that. And they can determine what punishment that is. Obviously, we've heard Hank Aaron say that, a lifetime banishment. And that seems maybe a little harsh to me, but obviously, he's a unbelievable ambassador for the game. But whatever the league office feels is appropriate. But this can't just be swept with a bunch of people saying, "Yeah, I knew about it. Should have done more. Wish it hadn't happened." Like that's not going to be good enough to satisfy the seriousness of this violation. And to me, I always bring things back to football, and I guess I apologize for that in a sense, but it's just how I'm wired. To me, this would be like if we found out 2 years from now that when the Kansas City Chiefs trailed 20-10 in the third quarter of the Super Bowl to San Francisco, that we found out that from the 2-minute mark of the third quarter on of that game, the Chiefs all of a sudden had the 49er audio. Hearing everything that Shanahan was saying, everything that Saleh is saying, all the calls that are getting relayed in, adjustments on the sideline that they're making. To me, it would be the equivalent of that. And if you found that out 2 years from now, that Kansas City was able to intercept that and illegally use the technology, it would totally change how you felt about their comeback and whether they were a legitimate champion or whether the 49ers had a championship stolen from them. And I think that maybe it's not, it may not be the perfect analogy, but it's the only one that I can come up with. But that's sort of what this feels like, that, yes, Houston was a great team. But I think in light of what we know, I think it's fair to question, would they have won it without the benefit of this? And if there's even a question in your mind that they wouldn't have, then they should not be allowed to hang a banner and be called the world champion.
There's a huge question in my mind because I've heard enough pitchers now say how did they lay off my good breaking stuff? That's the thing. How do you lay off late breaking, nasty, filthy breaking stuff as often as they did? None of us were smart enough to realize that's why they were laying it off. There's no doubt in my mind they wouldn't have won it without that. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a big deal, the fact that Rob Manfred had enough evidence, I think, originally to strip the title already. The hard part is, what good does that do the sport of baseball moving forward? The Astros have already gotten all the money that they've earned from that. I don't know that it changes anything moving forward.
It sends a gigantic message that if you cheat, you don't get to keep the title. That does matter. Because if he strips it, it's not like kind of college football, you win the Heisman this is you having those titles matters. The Astros would not have a championship then. That does matter. For whatever reason, in professional sports, that really matters, which is why nobody ever strips one. Has anyone ever stripped a pro sports title you know of?
No.
Now, I can't ever remember it ever happening. Ever. College, they do it all the time because they're mythical. But pro sports, I can't ever remember one being stripped. This would be stripped. This would be a championship that was stripped. So I think it would, Lauren. I think it would send a message. I think that message is getting out there anyway. But again, I like Charlie Morton. And this A.J. Hinch seems like a wonderful guy. But it's clear now, the message, well, I should have stopped. Well, that's soft. I shouldn't have done it. Gosh, I feel bad. Sometimes that annoys me more than ignoring it. So I don't know. This bothers me. It almost seems like there's a contrived effort. Now, in fairness, Charlie Morton's position was, I had just gotten to the team. I had been on another team. I was a new guy. What am I supposed to do? All these guys have been together forever. It's a boys' club. The boys' club was loving it because they were hammering people. They were laying off sliders and hammering fastballs. Who am I to say, hey guys, that's cheating? But I get it. But it's a mess. It's a bad thing. Gibby, pitchers and are the Braves in camp yet? The pitchers and catchers?
Yeah, let's see, they're going to go this week. I thought it was interesting, too, yesterday when I was talking to Tebow. I asked him, I said, you still playing ball? And he said, yeah, I'm going to spring training this week, Port St. Lucie, Tebow with the Mets again. And, he said that I asked him, have you met the new Mets manager? And he said, yeah, Luis Rojas, who's now the Mets manager, he said coached him in Double-A, which I didn't realize. So, yeah, it's all getting fired up, man. I'm excited.
Pitchers and catchers are there. They're all there right now. Carline, you jacked?
I am jacked. Are we going to get a third baseman, Gibby? What is going on here at third? I thought this deal should have been done. It's made my life a living hell. And we need this deal to be completed.
Well, they have, that old saying with quarterbacks, if you have two, you don't have one.
Right.
Well, the Braves have two, so they don't have one, a third baseman. They have Camargo and Riley. And Riley was the talk of baseball when he came up. The first several games, he had 9 home runs, I think, in his first 18 games, and was just on fire. And then they figured out he couldn't hit an off-speed pitch, and he hit 192 the last 200 at-bats.
You mean Austin Riley, also known as?
The Memphis Rattlesnake.
That's what I'm saying. So,
I saw some rattlesnakes yesterday.
You did?
No, that's not true. I saw cobras and pythons.
Okay. Oh, at those zoo?
Yes.
Okay, no rattlesnakes?
I don't think so.
I'm always afraid they're going to actually come through the glass and get me. I still can't get that close to the rat. Like, my kids will get right up next to it. I can't do it.
The worst part to me is when you're staring, you don't see it, and because a lot of times the snakes are camouflaged in that environment, right? And then all of a sudden you figure out where it is, and it just sends shivers right down your spine.
Yeah, snakes are no good. We had one of our on our pool, the pump got kind of clogged because it's all the stuff, and then the pool creepy crawler doesn't work as well. So you got to get one of the little filter areas and go down there, just kind of clean the. You guys, you've had a pool, so you clean the leaves out of there. Well, there's a little snake in there. Now, it was a maybe 9-inch long garter snake, so it's not hurting anybody. But you still got to get it out. It's still not any fun.
Yeah. Oh,
so you get it out of there and you toss that thing. You toss that thing like it's the most diseased animal of all time,
like
right?
it's an anaconda.
You really do. You get rid of that thing, and then you feel like you've cheated death.
Right.
Yeah, but you still.
Where do you toss it? Neighbors' yards?
Just
mailbox.
That'd be good. The water behind us.
Yeah.
But it's not hurting anybody. It's this long. It's not even a foot long, but it's still no fun. It's still the snake.
Yeah. For a brief period of time, when I had a pool, there were no neighbors next door, and I would get the snake out with the super long.
Yeah, throw them to the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, but I would never get that close, and then I would just throw it in the neighbor's yard. Like, don't come back. You hear?
When we come back, we got a lot more to talk about. We'll get to back a little bit to Gator Hoops and FSU Hoops. What a big one tonight for the Noles. How big is it? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He's number 55, Mac in the middle, Tom McManus.
I think what we saw Sunday.
Fridays on Jaguars Today, brought to you by McGowan's, the official heating and air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Out of the top 10 vehicles made in America, which manufacturer has the most? Chevrolet, Chrysler, Ford, Toyota? Nope. Honda. That's right. Honda makes 60% of the top 10. Safety, quality, value, and made in America.
Honda, I like it. Oh, yeah, I like it.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the first things clients ask me is, what is my case worth? It depends on the injury, liability, and damages. And in most cases, it depends on the lawyer you hire. All lawyers are not the same. I would like to invite you to visit forthepeople.com to see what your case might be worth. You will see injuries like yours, offers made by the insurance company, and verdicts made by juries. You will have an idea what your case may be worth in our hands. We try more cases than any firm in America every year, and that's important. Insurance companies know which law firms try cases and which firms settle cheap. Your case value is different in the hands of different lawyers. I've been around now a long time, fought countless battles. We are fighters who take on giants. In some cases, you hired your lawyer without doing your research, and you can just as quickly fire them if you now think you made a mistake. You only get one swing of the plate. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Offices, Jacksonville.
Message and data rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses right here in Jacksonville? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll be introduced to our 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Jacksonville area who want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Jacksonville is a perfect market for my system, and this week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where we'll share how to get started making money flipping houses and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000 right now because this free ticket offer expires this Wednesday. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
Gentlemen, discover the new medical treatment that Viagra doesn't want you to know about. I'm Bradley I with Synergenics Elite Health, and we offer GainsWave. It's a simple 20-minute in-office procedure. GainsWave is non-invasive, and it restores the poor blood flow that causes ED. Stop popping pills and scheduling intimacy. Call 904-500-5500. Consultations are free. Mention this radio station for $150 off your first treatment. Call Synergenics Elite Health at 904-500-5500 to learn about the GainsWave ED treatment today.
So you're working on your car and truck, need a part, and someone who can advise you on how to install it. Come to Rusty Acres. They have the expertise and largest inventory of used Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury parts. Rusty Acres, 786-1777.
TPC Sawgrass, the Players Stadium course and the best field in the game assembled once again.
It's the toughest tournament to win. It's got the deepest field in the world on one of the most iconic golf courses in the world. Very proud, very honored to be able to call myself a Players Champion.
Experience our gold standard when the Players returns March 10th through 15th. Tickets and parking available at theplayers.com.
If you're heading to Daytona on race week, pick up your tailgate and ribs, pork, chicken, and fixins at your neighborhood Woody's Barbecue. Start your engines at Woody's.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World.